Do interviews, obviously not in this film, in French also? You yourself?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, for sure.
I'm not too good on geography in American geography. Is that in Canada? Is that French Canada?
Yes, it's in French Canada.
Yeah.
It's actually
a beautiful city.
It is.
Cool.
It's directly above New York City.
Right.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it is, it's like in a European city. It has great charm, and you don't feel like you're in North America.
I always thought that French Canada was just on the west side.
Yep, east side.
Oh. Well, actually makes more sense because they went over that way.
All right, we are rolling.
Okay. New Zealand. How was it shooting there?
Great. It was cool. It was it's such a nice place, and everyone there's so friendly. And sort of in the street, you bump into someone, say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're right." And then it's got such unique scenery, and it's just all rounded great. It's just cool.
It's such a spectacular looking country, and it has landscapes for just about everything. And when we went location scouting there, we realized that we could wed the natural geography of New Zealand with what our production designer came up with, and be able to create Narnia. And the people were, to a person, they were welcoming, and I think in making the movie, everybody felt that we were doing something more than just making a movie.
And you even had to be helicoptered on the set, and you like it was so remote. I mean, that's amazing.
That was cool.
In the South Island, we had, when we were shooting the big battle sequences, for instance, we had 7 helicopters taking cast and crew up to the mountain and shooting the climactic battle, and then coming down. It was a lot logistical nightmare.
Yeah, but no, if you were nice to the guys in the helicopters, they would sort of take you around and sort of slide through these canyons and drop over these mountains. It's really fun.
Yeah.
How important is it to have an imagination as a kid and as an adult? Because this movie is really about, keeping that spirit.
It's so funny, people equate imagination and fantasy with children. I think it's probably more important to adults because they don't allow room for it. And I think we would all like to have some sort of world on the other side of a wardrobe or a closet, and something we could enter into, and where these kids go from a world in which they are disempowered and really helpless and scared to a world in which they're viewed as the saviors and the kings and queens, and they need to save the day.
Everything he said.
But you can say it better.
Yeah.
This was a really long process. It took like a few years to make. What's it like to see it on the screen now? Is it exciting?
You just saw it. He saw it for the first time on Monday.
It was cool. It was great. It was great to suddenly, after having the experience of making it, to finally go back and watch it all. And it was sort of in ways like a diary. And it was just great to remember those things, and to feel so lucky to have a part in that. And Narnia was cool.
How was it working with him?
With Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark's cool. Yeah, the great man is cool. That's his nickname.
But I was a good boss, right?
Yes. He was a good boss.
The hardest thing was keeping certain soft drinks away from him, because the last thing he needs, as you can probably tell, is more sugar.
I haven't had any today.
Very funny. How did you decide you wanted to be an actor?
When I was young, and my mum put me up on the list to go to a sort of a community class after school every Thursday. And I never really thought anything would so much come from it. It was just sort of a nice thing to do after school. And I thought, it'll be great to get some small parts, and I did. I got occasional small parts. I ran down a corridor for £25 once, which was great fun. And yeah, so I never really expected anything like this to come of it. And then when it suddenly has, it's so great, and it was such a fun experience to do that. So now, yeah, maybe the possibility of becoming an actor is a lot more possible, but I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see what happens.
The great thing about Skandar, he did this big experience acting in New Zealand for 6 months, and went back to school and immediately became a schoolboy, and all this was just something that had happened.
Everything he said.
I'm not talking anymore.
You trained him well. You trained him very well. You're already working on the next movies, so how's that going?
Not really. We want to do Prince Caspian next, but we're not really going to do it in earnest until we know that this film is deemed a success, both commercially and you know, artistically, and we'll see what happens. But it would be great to be able to do Prince Caspian, because both Andrew Adamson and I have fallen in love with the Chronicles of Narnia, and very specifically with these 4 kids.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
you.
you.
It's so beautiful.